Happy Monday, Rocketeers. I'm super excited to start a new unit with you guys. And I am going to, before I even say what the unit's called, show you a fun video to get you in the mood for this new unit. And let's go.
We all come from a place, the entire human race depends upon our planet, racing through outer space. And there are 8 planets that orbit around the sun. Come on, we'll introduce you, name them one by one. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. I'm Mercury, the smallest planet you see. You humans could never live on me. My atmosphere's too thin and I orbit too fast. My days are long. I am Venus, my atmosphere's super hot. I spin backwards in a way the Earth does not. I'm closest to the Earth in distance and size. I have no moons, I hope you can sympathize. I'm Earth, the planet that you're on, you know. I'm terrestrial but covered in H2O. I collide with things that I can't avoid, but my atmosphere protects me from meteoroids. I'm Mars and you can jump higher on me because I have a third of Earth's gravity. I hear you're planning to visit soon. I'll be your first destination since long. I'm Jupiter with my 79 moon crew, like Io in S2003. J2! Yeah, you could say I have a pretty large girth. Here's a storm twice the size of your mama Earth. Oh! My name's Saturn, check out my pretty rings. These rings are for my favorite things. I'm a giant made of hydrogen and helium. And please stop hitting me with things. My name's Uranus, and I'm an ice giant. That's dope. I was the first planet found with the telescope. I rotate backwards, and on my side, I smell like rotten eggs, but that's just the hydrogen sulfide. I'm Neptune, I'm the windiest planet around. I got supersonic winds that's faster than sound. An ice giant with 15 moons and a dark vortex, and they go away soon. Pluto, and I will not be forgotten. Pluto. Beautiful, but yeah, we've been over this, and you're considered a dwarf planet these days. So, girl, I'm the biggest object in the Kuiper Belt. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Sing along real strong for the next two. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. And I guess not Pluto.
All right, I obviously love that video. You might be seeing it more than once, I'm not gonna lie. So as you can tell, our next unit is all about space. Great, you guessed it. So we'll start out with this book, which is What's Out There? A book about space. That's written by Lynn Wilson, illustrated by Paige Billen Fryer, and book about space. So let's go ahead and start reading. And this might be one where I cut it off halfway and we might read the rest tomorrow. I'm not sure. I'm gonna see how long it takes me to read. I'm actually gonna turn on a little timer for myself. Timer. and make sure I'm not giving you too long of a book. All right, out in the country, away from the bright lights of cities and towns, you can see that the night sky is filled with twinkling stars. Can you guys see twinkling stars? Love it. Here they're looking at stars. For thousands of years, people all over the world looked up at the stars and wondered what they were. They picked out groups of bright stars that looked like pictures of animals and people. The ancient Romans gave names to many of these stars. Leo the lion, Taurus the bull, Gemini the twins, Orion the mighty hunter. Very cool. These are some constellations here. But a few bright lights did not fit into these star pictures. The lights seemed to wander around in the sky. They were called planets. They were called planets, a name that means wanderers. So planets means wanderers. The Earth we live on is a planet. It is the third planet from the sun. Can you find it? The Earth travels around the sun along with 7 other planets. Each planet follows its own path called an orbit. So there's a lot of vocab, right? What planet do we live on? The Earth. And the Earth travels around the sun. And then all of the planets together make up the solar system. Lots of different words here. You see, here's the start of the solar system. There's more, just like that video we just watched. The sun is a star, just like the stars you see twinkling in the sky at night. It looks bigger and brighter than the other stars because it is so much closer to us, only 93 million miles away. Like other stars, the sun is a huge ball of fiery gases which give off heat and light. We need the sun's heat and light for life on Earth. The planets do not give off any light of their own. All of their light comes from the sun's rays shining on them. The Earth's light comes from the sun too. The part of Earth facing towards the sun has daytime. The part facing away from the sun has nighttime. Earth spins around and around just like a top. So the part of the Earth facing the sun keeps changing. This is why day turns into night and night turns into day again. How long does it take for the Earth to spin around once? It takes about 24 hours. Does the sun really rise and set? No, it just seems to because the Earth is always spinning. It spins from sunlight into darkness and then back to sunlight again, and you spin with it. Here we see what this, I see I'm pointing, but you can't see me. There are children moving around at different parts of their day. Maybe this child's eating over here, eating breakfast. Maybe this one's getting ready for her day, and this one is going to bed. So it depends on where you are in the world. Besides spinning like a top, the Earth travels around the sun. It takes about 365 days for the Earth to go around once. This is why a year on Earth is 365 days long, because Earth is a little bit tilted as it travels around the sun. Our seasons change. Very cool. If the weather is warm and the days are long where you live, you know your part of the Earth is tilted toward the sun. It is summer. If the weather is cold and the days are short where you live, you know your part of the Earth is tilting away from the sun. It is winter. I'm going to pause here just for a quick second. I will be posting a video at some point during the week to do a little experiment using this idea just to better help you understand what that looks like. And it involves an orange and a pencil, I believe. So if you have those items at home, you're going to be ready. If you don't, go and pick up an orange. Just as the planets travel around the sun, moons travel around the planets. Some planets have many moons. The Earth has just one. Our moon takes about 27 days, almost 1 month, to travel around the Earth. During that time, its shape seems to change. Of course, the moon doesn't really change shape, but as it moves around the Earth, sometimes the side facing toward us is lit up completely by the sun. Sometimes it is lit up only part of the way, and sometimes it is not lit up at all. So there's different phases of the moon. So we see here there's a crescent moon, a half moon, a gibbous moon. If I'm saying that wrong, let me know, but I think that's how it goes, gibbous moon. And then here we are again. As the moon moves around the Earth, we see only its lit up part. So only the part of the moon that has the sun shining on it that's lit up is the part that we're seeing. The moon is the only place in the solar system that people have traveled to from Earth. The first person to walk on the moon was an American astronaut named Neil Armstrong. What's his name? Neil Armstrong. He had fun walking on the moon. He found that when he took a step, he bounced. Why don't we bounce when we walk on Earth? Planets and moons have a force called gravity. Called what? Gravity. The Earth's gravity is so strong that it pulls us down. It makes us heavy. The moon's gravity is not as strong as the Earth's. So Neil Armstrong was not as heavy on the moon. He was light enough to bounce. If you were on the moon, you would be much lighter than you are on Earth too. Here's a little image of that. The American flag. There's no air or water on the moon. There are no plants or animals, just rocks and dust. People have to wear spacesuits to stay alive. On Earth, air and other gases catch the sunlight and spread it around. That's why our sky is blue. Since there is no air on the moon, the sky is black all the time. To a person standing on the moon, the Earth is the biggest thing in the sky. It looks like a beautiful blue ball covered with white clouds. The moon is our closest neighbor in the solar system. The planets Mars and Venus are our next closest neighbors. For a long time, people thought these planets must be a lot like the Earth. Some scientists even thought they could see signs of life on Mars. No human being has ever visited Mars, but during the 1970s, we sent rockets there. The rockets dropped robots down on the planet. The robots took pictures of Mars. Their robot arms picked up samples of dirt and rock. They did not find any definite signs of life. Mars has some ice, but no oceans or rivers. The air is not like our air, and people cannot breathe it. Even so, Mars is more like Earth than any other planet. Millions and millions of years ago, there may have been rivers on Mars. There may have even been life of some kind. No one knows for sure. Okay. We know that the solar system is mainly empty space. Even the closest of planets are now more than 25 million miles away from Earth. The first 4 planets in the solar system, called the inner planets, are alike in some ways. They are all made of rock and metal. Mercury is the planet closest to the sun. It takes just under 3 months to travel around the sun. It has no air at all. Venus comes next. It is very, very hot, almost 900 degrees Fahrenheit, because clouds of poisonous gases hold in the sun's rays. Earth, the third planet, is the only planet with oceans. Gases surrounding Earth let in the good rays of sun and keep out the others that are bad for living things. Mars, the fourth planet, is cold. Its air is thin and poisonous. The next three planets are farther apart. These planets are called the outer planets. They are huge, much, much bigger than Earth, but they are not solid like Earth. They are made of liquid and frozen gas. Under the gas, there is probably a solid center of rock and metal. Jupiter, fifth from the sun, is the largest planet. It is so big that all the other planets could fit inside. Jupiter is covered with brightly colored clouds. Saturn, the sixth planet, has shining white rings made of chunks of ice. Uranus, the seventh planet, looks blue like Earth, but its blue color is caused by poisonous gases. Neptune, the eighth planet, is very far away and hard to see. In 1977, we sent a spacecraft to take pictures of Neptune. It took 12 years to get there. Scientists used to believe that Pluto was the ninth planet, but now they know it is a dwarf planet. Besides planets and their moons, the sun, and stars, what else is out there in the solar system? Chunks of rock travel around the sun just as planets do. They are called asteroids. Other chunks of rock are called meteorites. Most meteorites are very small. When a meteorite flies near the Earth, the force of gravity pulls on it. As it flies through the gases that surround Earth, it catches fire and burns up. Then it is called a shooting star. Comets are out there too. A comet is like a dirty snowball whizzing through space. Comets are made of frozen gas, rocks, and dirt. When a comet gets near the sun, the pieces of dust and ice that trail behind it begin to glow. It looks as if the comet has grown a tail. Here's some pictures. The more we know about the universe, the more we realize how special our Earth really is. The Earth has plenty of water. It's not too hot or too cold. The air is good for living creatures. In the whole solar system, there is not another place exactly like it. The Earth is our home in space. That is the end of our book for today. And I know we did a little bit of Earth Day last week and we talked about Earth Day, but we didn't do a whole lot about it. And I want you to comment saying one thing you learned from the video and one thing you could do to help protect our Earth. So I'm going to put some questions in the Google form too, but I do want you to just quickly comment one thing you learned from the video and one thing you can do to help protect our Earth now that we know how special it is. It's the only one like it out there. I'm going to stop our video now and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys.